Ever pondered why the government doesn't have unlimited power? It could be a thought you've had as you consider the distribution of authority within our society. In a democratic society such as ours, a key concept is in action. It's the of limited government. This concept affirms that the government's powers aren't unrestricted, but are laid out and controlled by law. This is where the principle of limited government comes into play. The concept of limited government has its roots in the founding of the United States. During the late 18th century, a fervor for freedom swept across the 13 British colonies, sparking the American Revolution. This was not just a fight for independence, but a fierce resistance against the oppressive rule of the British monarchy. Influenced by this struggle, individuals such as James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, and Alexander Hamilton, the framers of the Constitution, came to understand the dangers of unchecked power. Witnessing the tyranny, oppression, and disregard for individual rights that can result from absolute authority, they were determined to restrict such potential in their budding nation. Hence, the Constitution was crafted. This landmark document outlined the structures and functions of the new government, but more importantly, it was designed to restrain that government's authority. The Constitution sent a clear message that the government's power was not absolute, but restricted by the law. Through the introduction of the principle of separation of powers, the government was divided into three branches: the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Each branch was allotted specific powers with checks and balances put in place to prevent any one branch from gaining excessive power. These were resolute. The government's power must be limited. This principle of a limited government then was a safeguard, a protection against potential tyranny, and a guarantee of the people's rights and freedoms. Wondering how the principle of limited government operates? The U.S. Constitution, acting as the supreme rule book, defines the extent of governmental power. But wait, there's more. Our founding fathers took an extra step, gifted us the Bill of Rights, the initial 10 amendments to the Constitution. These amendments as an extra shield safeguarding personal freedoms against governmental overreach. Rights such as freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to bear arms. These are rights that are safeguarded from governmental infringement by the Bill of Rights. Additionally, these constitutional provisions give birth to a system of checks and balances. This divides government into three branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Each branch has its own distinct powers and responsibilities, enabling them to keep each other under control and prevent any one branch from gaining excessive power. What we observe here is a meticulously system intended to restrict governmental powers, to ensure that it serves its citizens rather than controlling them. This system of checks and balances is what keeps the government in line. In the current era, the principle of limited government retains its significance. It's ingrained in our society's structure, acting as a beacon guiding the actions and decisions of our political institutions. Its presence can be observed in the intricate checks and balances system, a harmonious power dance between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. Each one keeps the other in check, ensuring no single faction amasses an excessive amount of authority. Furthermore, the concept of limited government is manifested in judicial reviews, where courts scrutinize the actions of the executive and legislative branches, verifying their adherence to the Constitution. This procedure acts as a sturdy shield against the potential overreach of the government. There's more. Limited government flourishes in the continuous public dialogue regarding government's role and extent. Citizens participate in discussions, suggest policies, and cast their votes, actively molding the government that caters to their. The concept of limited government is thriving, standing as a sentinel protecting our liberties. Limited government, a principle that continues to shape our society, is the cornerstone of our democracy and safeguards our freedoms. It is a topic that fuels an ongoing dialogue, the role and scope of government. This is just the beginning of our journey through the foundations of freedom. Subscribe and stay tuned for more captivating insights. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the principles that shape the United States in our series, Foundations of Freedom.